Hi and welcome back to my channel. I am Koala and this is my little nook in this end of the universe that we call YouTube. I am a shamanic practitioner, mainly within Nordic shamanism. And two things. First, a bit of vanity, but I need a haircut soon. I can't with this. It's starting to curl a little bit like on the top, and I don't know what to do with this. So I know you probably don't care, but I'm just so annoyed. I just wanted to get it out of the way for myself. And okay, so I know that I was supposed to make a video in the series of Nordic gods. Continue that series today with Loki. However, I am lagging a little bit behind because things, life happens sometimes, and yeah, maybe I'll talk about that at some other point. But anyway, I will be getting back on track for next week. I just needed some respite now, so I'm not stressing about it. So that is why we are here to do some drumming. So it's been a while since I talked about drumming here on my YouTube channel. So what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna talk a little bit about the basics of drumming and the rhythms that I use and what they mean. So that is what I'm gonna do today. So I hope that you enjoy this little break from gods, goddesses and whatnot on this channel. Okay, so I own 3 drums. I have one drum that is like a teacher and a guided drum. I call him the Pathfinder, or the Swedish word vägledaren. So this is like a guiding drum. This is the only drum that I ever lend out to friends or circle members in real life. So this is that drum, and it's also not made of skin. It's I think the word is synthetic. So this drum is it's a very strong male energy, and it is made of materials that aren't, well, it's made of wood here, but the rest of it is it's vegan. It's a vegan drum, you can say. I think it's even classified as one. So this is a vegan drum. And he also has something really wonderful, an indoor voice. So I would say that the biggest difference between this drum and the other 2 drums that I own is that they have larger than life voices, and this voice is more calm. It's more guiding, and it's an indoor. So this is my indoor drum. So even though this has a large voice, and if I play hard enough, my ears ring, of course. The other drums, they have voices that makes the whole building vibrate, and definitely disturbs the neighbors. I have never ever gotten a complaint, but I'm also very cautious with when I drum and that sort of thing. And when I drum for a longer period of time, I most often use this one. Or use is such a weird word, because it's a friend, it's a companion. It's not just a tool. It's a vessel for the energies that I work with. So my relationship with my drum is really close. We have a really close relationship. And as you can see, it's an eagle on the front. The eagle is at the top of the tree in the Nordic tradition. But this is also actually, when I work with him, he often comes through as a griffin. So, which means that he's half lion and half eagle, and it's the top of him that we see. But he is kind of grounded as well. So yeah, and that's one of my I don't want to say power animals, but it's not spirit animals either. So he's more of a he's like my Sleipnir, like one of the shapes that my Sleipnir can take. So he is the drum, but he's also like when I journey with when I drum for myself and I journey with this drum, I can be sitting on the griffin in my visions. So where do we start? We can start with I think we will start with the rhythms that we use, or I use when I drum. So the basics are 4 different rhythms. I think there might be another word for it. You're gonna understand through this video that I'm not a musician. I'm not a trained musician at all. The only music I have ever made is with my own voice, with my drums, with my rattles. And we work together as a team, and I've never studied any like notes or anything like that. So you might think, oh Koala, but there's a word for that. Probably, but I don't know it because I'm not classically trained in anyway. So just want to put that out there, because I call them rhythms. There might be other words in English. In Swedish, the word is takt, T-A-K-T. So we have the rhythm of 1, and then 2, and 3, and 4 beats. And I'm gonna go through them now. So this is what I mean with the rhythm of one beat at a time. Like 1 beat, and a clear pause in between. This is the element of fire. This rhythm is used / comes through when I drum, when we are ascending, like when we are rising. So when I guide drum journeys, we start in the middle world by Yggdrasil, the tree of life. And when we rise from sitting under the tree and start the journey, this is most often the rhythm that comes through. Especially if we are going into the 9 worlds, or it doesn't matter if we're going below or above, but this is the rhythm that makes us, it's the action rhythm. This is the rhythm of fire. And of course it can speed up and it can slow down depending on what's happening in the journey and where we're going, etc. And it can also be more intense, like that. It can be, this is what I'm doing now, I would say is an expectant rhythm. Like we're expecting something, there's something's about to happen, right? Okay, so we're gonna jump. I'm sorry about the light, I can't really do anything about that. I don't want to turn the lamp off. So the next rhythm, the 2-beat rhythm, is actually the element of earth. It's heartbeats, the earth mother's heartbeats. And this rhythm usually comes through, or is used. I would say that this is the rhythm that I might force through if I feel like I need to abort mission. Then if I feel like, okay, this is someone's getting distressed, or maybe someone in the circle is signaling me that they want to go back, and it's a beginner and they don't know how to land and ground themselves on their own, then I might abort mission and force through this and then guide back. But as I was saying, this rhythm comes through when we're going to ground ourselves or descend. So descend for me is when we're going from one of the 9 worlds beyond the veils back to the middle world, back to the tree, so that we can come back to the here and now. So this is a beat that connects us to ourselves, our bodies, our hearts, and also the Earth Mother and the element of Earth. And then we have the 3-beat rhythm, and that can start as fire and then go into 3 beats, or it can start as fire plus earth and then go into water. So the 3-beat rhythm is the element of water, and this is an emotion inducing rhythm. So as I said, we can start with fire, and it can go straight from fire to water. We can also start off with earth and then just add a beat. And I want to emphasize that I rarely, do this intentionally. When I am in the middle of drumming, I am channeling whatever is coming through, and I am guiding the journey. As I said, I can abort mission, I can call everyone back, I can make everyone ground themselves, and that sort of thing. But so my job is as the drummer, as the shamanic guide, the shamanic practitioner in guiding other people, is to get off on a good start. So take us into the journey and then start off the journey, and of course guide through it. It depends on the intention, and it also depends on the experience of the people involved. So if they're all beginners, I guide from start to finish, from going into the journey to coming back to the here and now. If the people involved, the participants, are more experienced, then I can guide into the journey and then send everyone off on their own, but I am holding the circle. And during that period of time, I go on intuition. I just let whatever needs to come through. And then I might speak, I might not speak, depending on the intention of the journey. And this is also what happens during seidr, if I drum and someone else doing the gathering of energy from the other world's part of the seidr. And then at the end of it, I call everyone back, make sure that we land and ground. And I'm going to talk about those two concepts in a moment. So the 3-beat rhythm. We don't go into it like I did now. It's most often or always prefaced by something else, like the 2-beat or the 1-beat. This is a rhythm that doesn't really want to be with me right now. I can feel the drum calling me back to the earth as I'm speaking, so I'm gonna speak and not drum. So this rhythm is emotion inducing, so it can get your heart, it can expand your heart and expand your emotions and make you dive deeper into your emotions, but also make you express them. So it can be really emotional during this phase of the journey. It's not always a part of a journey. It depends on the intention of the journey, where we are and what we're doing. And it can also be a portal to Valheim, which is the world of the Vanir, and it is the world where our emotions, our intuition, and our flow lives. So this 3-beat rhythm doesn't always come through in drumming. And then we have the 4-beat. So the 4-beat can either be going from fire to directly into the 4-beat, or going from earth and then you know, instead, like I'm gonna show you, like from fire, and then just quicking up. And this is the only rhythm that doesn't really have any pauses. It can have pauses in the beginning, just to make people like, oh, this is what's happening, and make sure that everyone is coming along for the ride. So that is from fire, and then from earth. So from earth we most often go from earth via water and then into air. So the four beat rhythm is the element of air, and this is the most if fire is expectant and it's ascending, it's expanding your energy outwards, then air is you just shooting up and going on the journey. So this is the beat or the rhythm that is, if we are making a really intense journey, then this is the rhythm that is most often, it's the dominant rhythm throughout the journey in itself. And then it can vary, from fire to air, depending on what's happening, and then maybe water if emotions are boiling and need to be expressed or something. And it also depends on how the participants are experiencing it, because some experience it more visually and some experience it more emotionally, and that can also have can also be synced with the rhythm. And this is something the spirit and the universe knows, and I channel this. So more often than a pause between the beats to mark this rhythm, the first of the 4 beats can be like a harder beat, like I did just there. So these are the 4 basic rhythms, and then they can play with each other, and they can go in and out of each other throughout the journey. And now I'm gonna go into concepts of landing and grounding. So I promised I would go through a couple of concepts like landing and grounding. I will make another video at some point talking more about what a journey looks like from start to finish, and incorporate those phrases or concepts in that more in depth. For now, I'm just gonna say that when we come back from a journey, so at the end of a journey, the period that I call land is going from being in the middle of the journey and then coming back to the tree. So that is the landing part, and the beat that is dominant through that can be either one, most often the grounding one, so the element of earth beat, the 2 beat rhythm. But it might be another one depending on where in the 9 worlds we are when we want to go back, when I say okay, it's time to go back. And I do this as well with the beats of the drum, and I'm gonna go into that in the other video that I just mentioned instead of this one. And then the grounding is after the landing. So we're in the middle of the journey, right? And then the time is up, or we're finished with our mission, or we need to abort mission. Then the landing part is going from this high down to the tree. so that we are landing with our, basically it's a step towards bringing your body back, your soul back into your body, and your mind back into your body, and connecting the mind, body, soul again. So when we are when we have landed, that is when the grounding starts. So I don't really call it grounding until we can put our feet to the earth again. So when we are at the tree, or when we are down, so if we are up flying with the eagle or the griffin, then as soon as the griffin puts his paws on the ground, that is when we can start ground ourselves. We need to land first. And this is something that you can take with you into everyday life, that if you are too much up in the air and you feel almost disconnected to yourself, maybe because of stress, or maybe because of maybe you are one of those people that often go outside of yourself when you're doing something, when you're in the flow, then it can be noteworthy to know that you can divide it up. So when you're in that flow, or you're outside of yourself for some reason, you need to land. And so you need to bring yourself back before you can properly ground yourself. And I'm mentioning this because a lot of people might just think, oh, I need to ground myself, I need to ground myself. And then they go from being up here to being down there, and it's like a crash. And they get headaches, they feel out of sorts, and they feel like, oh, what happened now? And they might have a lot of physical symptoms of that. And so landing is a part of the grounding process, but it's the slow descending from this height, and then, you know, step by step until you put your feet on the ground again. So yeah, that's what I mean. So you can maybe keep that in mind, that you can slow down that process for your own sake, and then ground yourself properly back in the here and now. And so whatever you need to do to come out of the flow, but before you are sitting here and being like, okay, this is my cup, or this is my hair, my tea smells like that, and move your, you know, eyes around. Before you are in that space where you are like, okay, this is the here and now. What do I see? What do I smell? What do I feel? What do I, you know, hear? Before that, whatever you need to do between the flow or the out of sorts feeling and being able to see, feel, hear, smell, that is the landing part. So this video got a bit longer than I thought it would, but that's because I started talking more about the landing than I anticipated. So I will see you next week back with the gods of the Nordic pantheon, and you can see that playlist here somewhere right now. So thank you so much for watching. I have a Patreon, you can check that out. I have the link in the description. Please like this video if you liked it. Comment if you have any questions, or if you just want to let me know you're here. Give me a music emoji if you just want to let me know you were here, like a drum, or like a note, or something like that. Anything related to music. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe for more videos about shamanism, and I will see you soon. Walk in beauty, and if you have a drum, walk in beauty with your drum. Get to know your drum. It's a partner. It's a yeah, it's a friend. Shingling.